Guys, Kingo's Fan 2002 here with another video, and this will be another Kaiju Analysis video, and I'll be discussing about the plot and how the monsters will be in Godzilla 2, aka Godzilla 2018. Alright, so, as we all know, the monsters that are confirmed that were bought, like Legendary bought the rights to these three monsters. They bought, we already know they bought Godzilla because they already had 2014 made, but they bought the rights to, Mothra, Rodan, and my favorite monster, King Ghidorah. So as you already know, I would be like super excited to see King Ghidorah on the big screen in America. Alright, so yeah, so they bought the rights to those three monsters, and we still don't know like what order the monsters will appear in and all that stuff, which I will be talking about right now. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm swiping through just to give you guys some pictures and something to look at. Alright. So, the introduction to the story. Well, for me, the introduction that I think they will do is either they're going to have it in, like, black and white and all that stuff. And they might, show, like in a snap of a second, like that. It's going to, like, show, like, a meteor, like, hit on Earth and all that stuff, like, millions of years ago. And then it's gonna like do all that stuff, and that meteor will be King Ghidorah. Well, they might do that for like the third film, not really sure. But another introduction is that what they can do is, so I think that they will do in the beginning in the film, I think they will show how they dealt with the existence of Godzilla and the other kaiju. As far as the Muto's return goes, they might show flashbacks of the San Francisco military killing other types of Mutos, maybe even just the global military like Japan, France, England, Germany. I'm not really sure, but that would be just really cool idea to see, and just them killing off the Mutos. But as we all know, in the 2014 film, Ford Brody destroyed the Muto's nest with that bomb thing. But it might be possible that maybe like a couple of them, like one or more, survived, and that they were maybe more that Monarch kept secret, which we already know what Monarch is. It's like that kind of secret government that like deals with like Muto and all that stuff. And yeah, what else? So Monarch kept them secret. And maybe the other Mutos like met together somewhere like underground maybe, and maybe reproduced until eventually, of course, the military got more skilled and start to kill off the species until eventually they go extinct or leave one more left, which I would want them to leave like one more left, and it's for just one specific reason, to introduce another character. Alright. So, characters. So, the characters, yes. So I think that they might bring back Ford Brody just because, so they can have some continuity back into the film to connect 2014 and 2018 together. And I know that a lot of people like didn't like Aaron Taylor Johnson's performance that much, just because they thought like his character was bland and all that crap. But me personally, I thought he did a good job of imaging or representing a military U.S. soldier. So yeah. And alright. So also, I think I would like to see Dr. Ichiro Serizawa return, just because they need, like in 2014, I think they should have gave him a little bit more character development and how he like studies like the Mutos and all that stuff. And maybe that could go into like telling the military how to attack them and all that stuff. But yeah, as we all know, in 2014, the military in that movie was so stupid. I mean, that was like the most desperate military I've ever seen in the Godzilla movies. The best military we've probably seen in the Godzilla Godzilla movies was probably the one from Godzilla vs. Destroyer in 1995. Because they did a really good job. They killed Destroyer, and they stopped what would have been the end of the universe with Godzilla's meltdown. And the Super X3 was awesome. So, yeah. So I would also want to see Dr. Ichiro Serizawa return, and probably maybe even like a main character or secondary character. Not really sure. Alright, so the monster origins. First off, we'll start with Godzilla. So of course, everyone is probably going to know about who Godzilla is, mostly because of the fight with the two Mutos in San Francisco, and of course there was a news report saying Godzilla, savior of our city, like friend or foe or something like that. Forgot. Might go rewatch that movie today. Not really sure. So yeah, and the Mutos, I already discussed that. As far as Mothra goes and all that stuff, we probably won't have like the two fairy twins, mostly because that's gonna be like too far-fetched for this universe, because as we all know, Legendary created like a very, very realistic tone for Godzilla now, and just putting in the fairies wouldn't really mix with the realistic atmosphere. So what I think they'd do with Mothra, and Mothra is probably going to be the hardest to perfect, as in like origins and all that stuff. But what a lot of people are speculating is that either Mothra would be like some type of like a Muto creature that looks like Mothra, which I guess would be okay maybe. They need to keep it like traditional with like the colors and stuff. But I would not want a Mothra like black and orange and red and all that stuff. That would look terrible. That's not Mothra. Like there's like a lot of like leaked photos about like 2014 and a lot of stuff like last year, and it was like showing Rodan, King Ghidorah, and Mothra in like black and orange Muto repaint colors, and that wasn't really good. So they should keep it traditional. But what I think they might do is that so Mothra is reawakened by the presence of maybe King Ghidorah, because like King Ghidorah is like on his way. He's like about to get to full strength and all that stuff, and he's like stolen that meteorite thing. So what's probably gonna happen is that well, I'm not sure. Whoa. Oh my gosh, I just lost track. So Mothra's gonna land on like this island, and like a lot of people are like they find like a giant egg, like the cocoon of Mothra and all that stuff. So there's like this egg thing. There's like not a cocoon. There's like an egg in the middle of the water. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, what is this thing? And then there's like a lot of like people surrounded around it and all that stuff. And there's just like millions and millions of news reports about this mysterious egg. But then later on in the film, what I think that might happen is when either maybe Rodan or Godzilla wake up again. Is that Mothra reawakens? No, yeah, Godzilla awakens. Mothra will awaken and come out of the eggshell as the Mothra larva, and then it will like start trying to maybe like get out the city and all that stuff, trying to maybe find Godzilla just because, or Godzilla is like the predator of them, so trying to evade Godzilla. So it basically is going to like swim away off to an island, which a lot of like news reporters follow it all the way there, or maybe like the military ships like from 2014 followed Godzilla to Hawaii, I believe. They followed Mothra all the way to an island, which they will call Infant Island, because there's like the inhabitants on that island are like a lot of like short people, like maybe like an average of 5'2", maybe, like Stupendous Wave said before. And then of course the twins, like there's gonna be like the two leaders of like the group that like believe in this god named Mothra, and the two the two twins, and they're like the leaders and all that stuff. Like they're like the representators of the island group. And of course, what another thing that Stupendous Wave said is that like the leader of the group could be like 6 foot. Yeah, 6 foot. So that could be like Mothra's origins. And as far as Rodan, so Rodan is also awoken by Mothra, and he's like searching for prey and all that stuff. But what's gonna happen is or what I would want to happen is there's like that one Muto left that I said was that I said they couldn't find and was still alive. But what would pay tremendous homage to the original Rodan film in 1956 is I would want them to like have him in like this volcano near like a city and all that stuff, kind of like Pompeii, and then like he's just awakened, and once he's awakened, all hell breaks loose, and there's like lava flowing all out through the city and all that stuff, kind of like the opposite element of what Godzilla did with the tsunami and all that stuff in Hawaii. But so Rodan would be awoken by the presence of his prey, which could either be the Mothra larva, because like Rodan could like eat Mothra as like her larva form, because as we all know in the original Rodan film, he fed on bugs called Meganulon, or Meganula. No, it's Meganulon. Because Meganula was a dragonfly, which was actually a real insect. I forgot what period it was from, but it is a real insect, which is pretty cool. But yeah, like Rodan would be like searching for his prey, Mothra larva, but he realizes that she's like long gone, and the military don't even know like what Rodan looks like, what Rodan is. Like they haven't seen him yet, and we don't really get to see Rodan. Like they'll just show like maybe like talons or his eyes in like the volcano, like opening up, and they're like yellow and all that stuff, and then you hear like a roar, and then it cuts to like this other place where there's like the Muto, the last Muto, and it starts wreaking havoc in like a different city, like I said, and the military will try to engage with it, but like it flies into like the air and all that stuff, and it's gonna be like a pretty foggy day. Like, well, I would want it to be like this, but so they're like flying, pursuing the Muto as it's flying up in the air. And then next thing you know, there's this huge shadow that comes like right behind the helicopter and the Muto, and then it just like takes out the Muto like in a swoop of a second. Well, I don't know what I just said, but like Rodan swoops down, takes it, and then it's like carrying the Muto to like his volcano lair, or his volcanic lair, and then eats it there. And then like the military is like, oh my gosh, there's another monster? There's 3 monsters, so what are we gonna do? But I might put this into like a 2-part episode, just because I might be running out of time. But that would be like a really cool I don't know what the word is, but that would be a really cool scene that they should do. And then they like set up like a lot of tanks nearby the volcano, and like once Rodan was like done eating the last Muto, he comes out and then just wrecks the military. And there's like a lot of jets, and he like kind of like Get Rodan in the original, he like just comes out and keeps on like eating, like, he just bites the jets out of the midair. And I would also like to see him like trick. Like, I would like to see him like use like some of Zilla's tricks, like he'd like fly near a building and then he'd like do the whole Zilla thing with like the helicopter comes right behind them and just destroys them. Yeah, I would like to see that. Because as we all know, Rodan is not a weak monster by all means. He's actually one of the strongest Godzilla monsters, especially as Fire Rodan, which I would want this one to look like or be. Like, as we see right here. I like that design. I just want them to like modify it more to look like Fire Rodan, and that would be amazing. And then of course like all the events leading up to that. And Godzilla wise, depending on how many years this takes place after the events of San Francisco, Godzilla has been remaining dormant ever since that, and they haven't like seen him for a long while. A lot of people might have like mixed feelings about him, like, oh, he's the savior of our city, but in the people of Hawaii and all that stuff, he could also be seen as like some vicious animal because he brought a tsunami with him, and like that killed thousands of people, as we all saw. Oh my gosh, I have a sore throat. But yeah, that would be a really cool idea, as you can see right there, Rodan. So basically Godzilla is also awakened by Rodan again, and they get into like a quick scuffle. Rodan flies away and all that stuff, because I'm not trying to go into full detail because I could be wrong and I don't want to make a full theory just to be wrong. So Godzilla is just awoken again, and it's gonna be like a domino effect, like the Mutos awoke Godzilla, Godzilla awoke King Ghidorah, and like King Ghidorah maybe awakens these two, but I don't know what I just said. So now we'll get to the main one, probably the monster that everyone was mostly excited for when they confirmed it, King Ghidorah. Now, design-wise for King Ghidorah, I would want him to look like the Heisei 1991 King Ghidorah, along with the Grand King Ghidorah, which is the same Heisei. Well, it's not the same, but they're like Heisei Ghidorahs. Like, combine all the aspects of like the ferocity in that, and then like the size of maybe Kaiser Ghidorah. Like, I would want like one of the heads to like kind of resemble Kaiser Ghidorah, specifically the middle head. And then you should also bring in a little bit of aspects of the Showa Ghidorah. I mean, that is the original, so you're gonna have to put in some traits of him. So King Ghidorah, yes. So basically, I would want them to save him for the third movie. I already discussed about King Ghidorah in 2018 and all that stuff in my first Kaiju Analysis video. But so like the final battle, he'd probably take on maybe Godzilla and Mothra, because Godzilla got into like a fight with Rodan like before this even happened, and Rodan, it's kind of like the situation in Mechagodzilla 2, like he's on like this other island or place area, and he's like injured and he can't really move or anything, and then he like evolves into, of course, Fire Rodan. But yeah, so the final fight, we're gonna like probably the most they might take, this would be probably a huge liberty in killing Rodan, but it's the most realistic way to do it. I mean, like, you don't kill him off like in a bad way, but like have it in like a heroic way or something, like maybe Rodan get like impaled by King Ghidorah's two tails or something, or maybe like thrown it, like the tails, and thrown into the air and gravity beamed or something, and then he like lands on Godzilla. Like, have King Ghidorah maybe kill off Mothra or something, and kill off Rodan, and then when they die, like their spirits like go into Godzilla, kind of like in GMK when Mothra and Baragon were killed. The spirits went into King Ghidorah, and he just got super powerful. Well, but powerful. And Godzilla gains the Spiral Ray, and then he like fights King Ghidorah, but still King Ghidorah is really tough. And the design, like I said before, I would want King Ghidorah to like look kind of like Otachi, like the wing wise. Like first he starts out with like arms, like the first ever King Ghidorah to like have arms and all that stuff, and are like very long. So basically, he pins down Godzilla like once he blows off maybe like his left head or something, or no, not blow off any of his heads, like blow a puncture through like I don't know, just do something that would like damage King Ghidorah a lot, and then King Ghidorah would like get very angry, pin Godzilla down to the ground, have like a foot on his chest, yell in his face, and then of course this would be my favorite Godzilla moment of all time if this were to actually become true in the film. Otachi Pacific Rim style, King Ghidorah just opens his arms like wide out, and then you just see these gigantic wings, and it just like destroys a lot of buildings too in the way, and there's like fire everywhere, like even bigger wings than it showed in like GMK when King Ghidorah got resurrected. That would be just so awesome. And then of course they get into like a big fight and all that stuff. King Ghidorah's starting to win, drain Godzilla's energy. The military would try to figure out a way how to intervene. Godzilla would probably win and all that stuff. But another thing that they might probably do, maybe they should do this, because you wouldn't want to kill off two of the most famous monsters, as in like Rodan and Mothra. So like have like Mothra like have another egg or something somewhere, and then of course like a larva ashes or something. That might be cheesy though. But yeah. So that's probably guys. So that is it for this Kaiju Analysis video for today. And King Ghost Fan 2002 signing out. Stay big, guys. See you all the next video.